How are you all doing today? Nice to see you all. If you haven't been here in a while, I haven't been doing stuff in a while, but if you've been here before, you'll notice that I have pretty lights and a fancy new camera and stuff too, so I look all fancy and cool. Thanks so much for joining today. My name is Mark Mandel. I do develop graphics for Google Cloud. Everything right now is a bit of a mood, but I thought I'd come online and do some fun stuff. Seemed like a cool thing to do, and work on some stuff with Agones because this seems like fun. I don't know. It seems like a fun thing to do. What am I working on today? Where's my brain at? Thank you for joining me. All right, so let's pop over to working. So, what fun things do we have today? So, what's a good way of explaining this? So we have these end-to-end tests that run for Agones, right? It's a scaling system for game servers that runs on top of Kubernetes. It's a whole bunch of infrastructure stuff. And we run these end-to-end tests. These are like just full integration tests, everything that happens. So we test as much as we possibly can and sort of in the real. And we do it a lot. It's part of our whole CI process, right? So if we look at any number of pull requests, here's one I'm just going to grab from my buddy Mo. Let me have a quick look. And we see that, right, like everywhere down here, here we go, right? Like we have a build for each one that runs for every time. Thankfully, nothing's, there we go, here's one that failed. We had a flaky thing that I think we fixed. And some review and stuff. But like, yeah, there's a build that happens on each one of these. Can actually, for argument's sake, I'm in the right account, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we can actually even go have a look at it. It runs on Cloud Builder. It runs against a Kubernetes cluster that's up here. And you know, the CI process takes a while. It's like 20 minutes. We run a variety of end-to-end tests. Here we go into it's stable, and it spits out a bunch of stuff. And you can't see anything because nothing went wrong, which is good. But what we've been doing lately is, now let's see if I haven't actually looked at this yet. So I'm going to start. Yeah, this is a good place to start. I'm going to start by looking at the changes that have been implemented by like some of the other team members on the project around end-to-end tests, because I actually haven't really looked at them very closely. And we'll have a play with it from there. So let's have a look. Okay. So let's also make sure, just very quickly, config context, make sure I'm on the right cluster. Yeah, I've got a test cluster all set up. So if you're at all familiar, Kubernetes has this thing called namespaces. It's basically a nice way of grouping together stuff that you're working on. We put all our Agones stuff in this Agones system namespace. So it's kind of cool. Yeah. It's nothing too special. It's a great way to group things. It segregates things by network, although that's not really important for right now. One of the things that has changed recently, actually, and I'll point out one other thing. So you'll notice as well, there is a default namespace. It's usually where everything goes because it's the default namespace. But our end-to-end tests, they changed recently. Things became different. You can tell I'm having a silly day. Wherein we create this namespace for the test to run in. Here we go. And in the end, we delete it, which is all good. But if something panics, it doesn't get cleaned up. So okay, so I'll give an example. Actually, with create namespace. Ooh. There is a label that is attached to it. Hold on, I'm getting distracted. But so I'm getting distracted and I'm getting ahead of myself. So we do create this. Okay, so we have this internal framework thing. It creates a namespace and attaches some stuff to it. Oh, I see. It deletes a namespace from the local test cluster. And then it namespace is delete. Okay. Interesting, but that's fine. Okay, so we have some stuff. So I'm gonna pick a random test. Where's one of my favorite? My favorite tests, I use this one all the time. Create fleet game server allocate. Basically, this creates a small fleet. Actually, does a couple of things, and then does an allocation and then dies. So actually, let's just run it. I'm just gonna run this. I can run in the background. If we have a look at our namespaces, all right. So that's running. Okay, so this is now creating this little standalone namespace here that our tests are going into. Okay. Cool, and we can see it's terminating, now it's going away again. All right, so it puts everything in that namespace. It's a nice way of being able to like add stuff and then remove stuff in a nice way so that you can, it's just super easy to clean things up. Totally cool, makes sense. No problem there. I'm gonna do something here. I'm gonna break stuff. Oh no, bad things happened. This is what I'm seeing quite regularly, or sometimes where like a panic happens for reasons, software fails, right? And I think that namespace gets cleaned up. So it's gone now. Excellent. So if I run this now, I assume it'll compile and not complain at me about this stuff. Oh no, bad things happened, right? And now if I look at my namespace, oh no, that's still there. So if I run this, say, a second time, for argument's sake. Oh no, bad things happened again. We have bad namespaces floating around. All right, so first step. I want to, can we do that one? Yeah, kubectl describe namespace. Now, everything inside the Kubernetes ecosystem has labels and annotations. Awesome. And we can see there's already a label here, which is super nice. So we can look for this label and make sure that it gets removed, which is pretty cool. But one thing, so okay, yeah, actually this is a good first step. Good first step. Actually, bear with me one sec, because I am also aware that this is not the only thing that creates namespaces in my end-to-end tests. So I kind of want to maybe do something else as well. Okay. I'm just checking the internet to make sure no one's messaging me about anything important. And they're not, because there's nothing that important other than clearly this. All right, so we have this label already here. Awesome, that's great. What I want to look for, though, and we saw it in framework. Totally cool with that. Create namespace. Get a location. Get rid of that. Create namespace. Here we go. Namespaces.create. I just want to look for that inside here. Huh. Nah. There are definitely more places where we create namespaces. Specifically, I know in multi-cluster. Really? I mean, I could be wrong. It's possible. But I am quite surprised. Test allocator across namespace, right? Like, framework, create namespace. Oh, so it all goes through this. Aha! Okay, so it seems like if I explain my thoughts, everything that's been written inside end to end uses this framework create namespace. Sweet, that's super handy. Reason that's super handy is that means that every if I look at this namespace, every namespace that gets created is going to have that owner end-to-end test, so we can look for it and we can set up a delete when we first start, which is fantastic. All right, so what do I want to call this? Well, let's have a look in main. Do I want to put it in main? I could put it in here. All right, we do have namespace equals blank, use custom namespace, run cleanup before tests. If framework namespace equals blank, create a namespace and we push it through. Otherwise, do a cleanup of the namespace. Right. I think here really what we want is actually, I'm just going to write a func called cleanup test. Cleanup end-to-end namespaces. Return an error. Wow, I feel like I haven't written Go code in like a really long time. I'm just gonna call it cleanup. Yeah, cleanup namespaces. So, oh, and I'm gonna need a couple of things. I'm gonna need end-to-end framework. Really? Yeah, pass me in. No, that's not what I want. I need access to the Agones system. Error, parse test flags, framework. New from flags gives me a pointer to a framework. Thank you. All right, so we'll call it framework. Pointer framework. Yep. All right, sweet. So the first thing I need is to, all right, so we need to list all end-to-end namespaces, loop through them, and delete them. Seems reasonable enough. And then what we can do here is, nope, that's fine. If equals cleanup namespaces framework, error does not equal nil. Log dot with error, error dot error, failed to clean up end-to-end namespaces, os dot exit 1. I'm making sure, I've been writing a lot of Rust lately. I just want to make sure I didn't write any like semicolons at the end of stuff, but that looks right. All right. Let's do that. Oops. Get rid of that. Habit. Sorry. I was bringing up like corporate chat and I was like, oh yeah, because I usually check chat in the middle of things while I'm looking at other stuff. Make sure I'm not missing anything important, but nope. Nope, I'm just silly and hitting buttons that I shouldn't. All right, cool. All right, so that seems good. All right, so first, then we need framework dot Agones client dot not Agones. No, sorry, kubectl client. Client. It's just namespaces core for memory dot namespaces dot list. Boom. All right. I need some ops for that though. Meta v1 list options. Ops equals. Does that take a pointer? Yeah, let's bring up the list options. All right, just takes a v1. Okay, v1. Actually, I should call it list options. Yep, that's what we want. Also v1. Nope. Rename to meta v1. Yep, because that's what we use everywhere else. Now, list options. Remind me how to do this. I need a label selector. I've done this before. I can never remember. You have to create a label selector out of a string. That's a thing. And I've done this before, so let me grab. I have definitely done this before. Here we go. I'm just gonna steal that. It's not quite what I want, but that's where are we? So framework. List game servers from Flate. Nope, I want create namespace. Create namespace. Owner. So this here. Do I want to turn this into a value? I think I do. Oops. Turn this into. I think I can turn it into a constant. No, I can't. To introduce variable. Call this namespace label. Also, that will need to be public. Whoops, that is not what I want. Namespace label. Let's put that at the top. Namespace label. There we go. That all looks pretty good. What are you complaining about? Var namespace label. Seems like it's fine. Going forward, W. Alright, end to end. Tests end to end. Make sure it's not going to complain about anything. Yeah, seems fine. Okay. Does that work? Missing key and map literal. Nope. So, okay, what we actually want then is to convert that to a set. There we go. So, list options allows us to pass in what we want to be filtering on, and we need to provide a label selector in the list options. That label selector has to be a string. Yeah, I know, it gets complicated. For that string to get created, there's a thing called a set inside the labels package, which will take a map, right? Because the set is actually just a type alias for a map. If we want to go look, see, map string string. So we cast our map to a namespace label, and then we turn that into a string. And I think that's... I just want to have a look. That should be all fine here too. Right, that labels is a map string string. Yeah, perfect. All right, cool. All right, so now we have opts. Let list error equal that. No, sorry. Oh my God. Yeah, I've been writing a lot of Rust. You can tell. And then error bound. If error does not equal nil, return. Do I do an errors wrap in any of this stuff? Nah, return error. That's fine. Sorry. Yep, that's what I want. All right. List is what exactly? Unused variable. Yeah, no, I get that. List v1 namespace list, which has items in it. Okay, cool. For underscore namespace in range list dot items. Framework dot kubeclient dot core v1 dot namespaces. Maybe I want to do a thing. I also need some delete options. Delete namespace dot object meta dot name. All right, but we need some. We need some more opts. So this takes a, bear with me one sec. This takes v1 delete options, which is actually a pointer, equals and meta v1 delete options. And what I want to actually do is propagation policy it. So what I would like to do is, yeah, so when you delete stuff in Kubernetes, you can actually specify how you want to delete it, whether you want it to be in the background or the foreground, or you want to wait for it, or from the dependents. If there aren't any dependents, you don't want to follow that chain through, because different resources in Kubernetes can point to different things. Anyway, so I actually want to do this in the foreground. I want the cluster to be clear. Like when this comes through, you should be done. Yeah, where are we? Give me meta v1 do. Why are you complaining? Oh, it needs to be a pointer. And then, nope, you're hating me. Because that needs to be a variable, and we're going to call it, yeah, just foreground is fine. That being said, just as a thing, also we will want to we can delete going to say we can delete if there are multiple namespaces that are there by default. We can delete them in like what's the word I'm looking for? In parallel. That being said, I don't think that's necessary here, just because there shouldn't be too many of them. If we have a system now where wherein what's the word I'm thinking? Wherein my brain just fell over. If we have a system now wherein we're doing this cleanup on the regular, then what's the word I'm looking for? Then we shouldn't end up with a huge number of namespaces that are bad, and this shouldn't take too long. And if it is taking a really long time, then that's probably indicative of something else. So you know what, optimizing is probably not worth the effort. But I do want to wait for it, because I don't want an end-to-end test to start before we roll on to something else, basically. Cool. Just having a look at the internet. Beautiful. All right. All right, so make sure nothing special is happening on the internet. Everything seems fine. All right, so let me think. Yeah, so this seems... I have one problem. Also, I keep putting semicolons on things. I assume this just returns an error. Let's have a look. Yep. Where am I? There we go. Okay, make sure that gets handled. All right, so go import it. Cool. I'm just gonna make lint. Yeah, we'll see if this ruins my CPU as we're streaming. That has happened before. Watching my CPU climb, we'll see how that affects my stream. That'll let me know if I've missed anything. But then we can run a test and see whether the namespace fails or cleans up after itself when we see that panic failure. Okay, that's running. Just want to make sure. Cool. Just getting rid of Twitter notifications. Okay, unreachable code. Ooh, what's going on here? Exported var should have a comment or be unexported. Ooh, nice one. This is why we do these things. All right, namespace label. Yep, absolutely true. Ah, that's new. Didn't know it did that before. It does code completion based on the name because Go has pretty standard commenting guidelines. That's actually pretty sweet. Is the label that is put on all namespaces that are created for end-to-end tests. Nice. Now, there was something else here where it said, yeah, let's make this horizontal. That's easier to look at. Okay, unreachable code. Location. Oh, that's because I've got the panic still in there. Okay, that's fine. That's I know exactly what that is. That is here where we add this panic. Okay. So here's a fun thing. All right, so we still have these two namespaces here. So now in theory, now this should run, delete those other two, and it'll create another one which should get left behind, which is fine. That's kind of what we're testing. So let's have a look. We're compiling. Spinning, spinning, spinning. Okay, that failed, but if we have a look, yes. Okay, the old two namespaces are being terminated. There's one that's left behind. All right, so there's that one. All right, so now if we like revert this back to the way it was, whoop, and we run my favorite test. Right, that one's terminating. So it should, so interestingly enough, I thought it would delete in the foreground. It's not doing that though. Now here's an interesting, actually I just thought of something because I did see something interesting. We're just doing a straight up delete, which is fine, cool with that. But I did notice we have something interesting in here. We have this delete namespace that, does a bunch of interesting things. Yeah, I think it's just handling some edge conditions that could potentially happen for whatever reason. They're just doing a straight up delete options. All right, you know what? Let's use this instead rather than doing ours, because better to use the framework. Delete namespace, namespace.objectMeta.name. Get rid of that. I assume it still also spits out an error at the end. That all seems pretty good. All right, there should be no demons chases. Yes. So let's put in, yep, panic. Oh no. All right, and we'll just run this and make sure it still does what we think it should do. Boom. Yep, I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay, and it leaves behind that. That's fine. It happens. Things happen to the best of us, and that's okay. If I run it again, just testing all the sort of error conditions. Okay, that other one, that new one is, the old one is what's the word I want to say? Being deleted. Nice. That one failed. Okay, cool. We put things back the way they were. Boop. Oh, be good if I hit play. That would help. Terminating. And then the other one should go away once it's done too. I like this. This is actually one of my favorite little smoke test tests because it does a couple of different fleece strategies and just tests some of the very critical parts of what we're doing. Sweet, that one's terminating as well. And everything is all going away. Beautiful. Excellent. Very, very nice. All right, so let's do a go imports. Yep, make sure that's good. Check out -b. We'll call it test namespace cleanup. Oh, I want to lint stuff just to make sure everything is fine now. Well, that's going to take a little while. Hopefully that doesn't affect the stream. Okay, so that's actually coming together rather nicely. All right. Where's that issue that we're working on so that I can reference it when I commit my code and push this up? And then I have some other things that I can add to Agones while we're working today. Once this is up, which will be fun. Just little things, stuff I've had in my queue for a while. Although I'll also take you through how I've been managing how I do Git branching recently. That you might find kind of interesting. So we'll see how that goes as well. All right. That is passing that. Excellent. I did grab, there we go, yep. All right, I like to do my commits through IntelliJ, just because it gives me a little nice view of what's changed. I can have a look at main here. I just think that actually needs a thing. It lets me see like the lines, so I can follow some really nice best practices around doing commits in GitHub, so I actually really like it. I can configure like before commits what stuff I wanted to check. And I have some custom rules for that as well. All right, clean up end-to-end namespaces before test start. When an end-to-end test panics, it can leave behind namespaces or populated game server namespaces that are never cleaned up. This implements a fix in which the end-to-end test will search for end-to-end namespaces in the cluster and delete them all before tests begin. Closes, blam. What's I gonna say? If you're not familiar on GitHub, if you write closes, it's an action word, so it means that when this PR is merged, it'll automatically close that ticket item. You may already know that, which is cool, but it's just super handy. All right, so let's commit that. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Let's pop over here. Now, one thing I will do is just want to make sure I'm up to date with master. Yep. All right. Cool. Make sure. All right. GVSup is git push set upstream to origin. Yeah, I use my ZSH, and that has a bunch of like pre-built git commands, which is nice. And let's open up that PR page. Cool. All right, so we need to just gonna grab that, put that down here. This is I'll call it a cleanup. It's a cleanup ticket. Put that in there. I don't think I have any special notes. None. Let's just have a quick look. I like to look through this just to see anything else. Right, I put that up there. Namespace label, beautiful. Ooh, there's something I want to fix. There's just weird spacing in there, so let's get in there and fix that. No, it's not that one. It was main test, yes. I'm not sure why, but Go imports doesn't like group them together. Sometimes it just leaves these odd gaps. It's kind of strange, but it's just one of the things it does. I'm sure there's a good reason for it. Outside of that, nope, that looks pretty good. All right, so we'll just amend the previous commit and push that up. And it's a git push force with lease, so it does a little bit of safer git push force. Alrighty, let's go to that. That will refresh in a minute, and that's fine too. All right, let's give it some labels. Tests, cleanup, boom. This is also going to save me a bunch of time because I've been doing this manually by hand all bloody day. Cool. I might also tidy this a little. Just put those in the same line because then it's just prettier. It's just prettier, which is nicer. Sweet, and away we go. Excellent. All right, so hopefully that'll go in and save me a bunch of work. Those are not people I want to. One of those, and oh, I don't know, Robert. Get Robert to do it. We'll get rid of those two. Switch that up. Cool. See what they think of my code. I think that'll do well. Okay, cool. We can see down here that is there. All right, so that was fun. Okay. What time do I need to finish this today? All right, so I have a meeting at 2, which is in half an hour. Okay, sweet. So we have plenty of time. We can do some more fun stuff. And I can get some other things in that I wanted to get into the repository. We have a release candidate coming out on Tuesday. So, yes, that's what I want to work on. All right, cool. So I have an interesting workflow these days with Git. So let's go through it. I actually kind of want to talk about it anyway because it's quite possible other people are doing very similar things. I actually have no idea. In fact, actually, this probably is likely because this was a while ago. I was chatting with another engineer who was working on Agones at the time as well, here at Google. And we're having discussions, and he kept bringing me up on it, and it was a valid point that like I have a tendency to put in these really big PRs that are really hard to review, and I 100% agree. Like, there's no question about it. And something I've been working on. And the biggest issue I've always kind of faced is I just feel like, sometimes you have to write all this code to find out the pattern or do the exploration to work out exactly what it is you need to work out all the problems. And sort of set a direction and maybe get some kind of architecture sort of worked out. And so I was like, well, how do I do like this big chunk of stuff without submitting this big PR? And his point was like, yeah, you can go and do all that work, but then what you need to do is start pulling pieces out and submit them in pieces. And there's been actually some other really great articles. I think it was Sarah Dresner. I'm going to mess up her name, and I'm really sorry about that. Who did a discussion of it on Twitter as well. This was actually a few months ago. And so I've been changing my whole kind of style for how I develop open source and then kind of pull that back into pull requests that are small and manageable. So now I kind of target, now it depends because sometimes code generation and stuff, whatever, but I try and sit sort of around the 200, maybe max 300 line mark for a PR. And depends on the PR, but that's usually sort of like rule of thumb where I'm trying to sit, even though I may have it be part of a big project. So let's pop back over to working. So you may not have noticed, because you probably don't follow along, I just did a bunch of work recently for getting Helm support, Helm 3 support, I should say, into, where are we? Into the next build. So here we go. Just look at the stuff that's mine. So you'll see some of this, update developer tooling to Helm 3, Terraform to Helm 3, Helm 3 installation documents. So you can start to see, like, I broke this up into 3 PRs. You can see that one's very, very large. That's because there was some code generation in there. So there was no way of getting away from that. There was a particular file. There's the install YAML that's really big. But you can see here, right, like this one's big. That one's an L. That one's an L. So L somewhere between like 200 to 300 lines, something like that. No, I think it's up to 500 off the top of my head. I'm trying to see if this actually shows the details here. So we can have a look. Like it's just for an example, right? You can see like the scroll bar is not too big, right? Like you can kind of go through this and be like, all right, cool. This is something I can follow, and it means that I actually find you can get it through faster, and you get better review for stuff when you do smaller PRs. Like it's just an all good thing, and everyone kind of wins. Otherwise, you submit. I don't know if you've seen this, but it's happened to me a bunch where like I'll submit this massive PR, and then I'm waiting for a week for review. And people are like, I guess it's fine. It's too much. It's overwhelming. People don't want to touch it. So what do you do? So this is what I've been doing recently. So I'm going to pop over here. I actually use IntelliJ's task system just to keep context. But what I do is I do all my work on what I call a work in progress branch, which is basically a branch that is never going to go to a PR. directly, like in any way, shape, or form. I can do whatever I want with it with history. I just do all the stuff I want to do. And I find that really liberating, actually, because it means I can just work on the bits that I need in the order I want and just kind of explore space. Maybe if I hit refactors that I'm like, oh, that would be really cool, or like little text changes. You know how like, you ever find like you're like, oh, I just want to drop this little like text change or like this little tiny tweak in the middle of this other PR that I'm working on, and then you're like, oh, I can't do it because it's not contextual to the PR I'm working on, or so I'll just forget about it and never gets done, that kind of stuff. So I can do that all. I'm like, this is my space. I can free for all whatever I want. So here I'll actually show you. So right, I'm in this, and actually I'll do the things that I need to do, and then what I'm going to do in a minute is I'll show you how I pull PRs out of this. But I do pull PRs out of this once I'm done with a chunk of work that I'm happy with, and then I rebase master back underneath it again. It does mean I get some merge conflict, stuff like that, but it means that I can kind of be a bit more free with how I develop, while also still producing really, like, it's much easier to produce like small chunks of work. So you know what, let's actually work some of this. So I'm going to check out master, make sure master's up to date. All right, I'm going to rebase master. So actually more recently, I just did the Terraform changes. I think I did both the Terraform changes and the development tooling changes for Helm 3. So I could actually separate them both out at the same time and have both PRs running in parallel too, which is super nice because they weren't necessarily connected to each other, even though they both came out of here. But they're, let's do this, rebase master. Right, I'm going to get all that. Actually, before I do that, bear with me one sec. One thing I have also learned, and I'm going to do this over here because it's actually much easier to see. Log work in progress Helm 3. Is I'm going to squish my gits together, these two commits together. I found that doing an interactive rebase, like doing a rebase, sorry, when you're rebasing another branch underneath the other one, it's much easier if they're just flat in a single place, because I'm going to do an interactive rebase from here because this actually has a nice little tool for it. And I will squash that in. Cool. Yep. Let me start rebasing. So what it's going to do is going to pull those together into a single commit, which it will do in a minute. There we go. Rebase successful. Excellent. You can see that's one commit there. I'm just going to edit the commit message as well because it usually puts spaces in there. So the stuff that's going to come up behind this in just a minute. That's done, that's done, that's done, that's done, that's done. Actually, whoop, that's done, that's done, that's done. I know what that refers to. That's fine. That's just my commentary. That's done. Cleanup of test feature flags. Ooh, I actually want to get rid of that. Helm 3 Terraform configs is done, 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 done. Okay, so mostly, actually, this is all cleanup items after major commits. So there's a bunch of stuff in there now, but you'll see what I mean. So I was able to work, I've got all the major features already in there, but I do still have a bunch of cleanup stuff that I found along the way that I do want to get into the system, because I was like, oh, I'm just going to do it now, and then I'll pull it out later. So let's pull it out. All right, so now I can do a git rebase master. It's going to complain a lot, which is fine. I really like IntelliJ. It has very good resolution of conflict stuff. Beautiful. Here we go. Let's do all that. Now, I do not want that. I actually want what's in master. So the nice thing here is that usually whatever comes from master is actually the thing I want, more often than not. Is that everything in here? Yes. Okay, all conflicts resolved. Beautiful. Helm Terraform. What's in here? Yeah, let's resolve using right. That's fine. Easy, easy. What are you complaining about? No idea. Is there already rebase commits? All conflicts resolved. All right, cool. make file. Let's do all the regular stuff here. Yeah, so we're just doing, that's all fine. Go A. Right, Helm uninstalling, that's just on the same line, and then that's just the next line. All right, cool. And this is all stuff that's kind of come out in review. Yes, we definitely want to accept that using the right. I'd actually left that behind accidentally. Apply. README. Right click, resolve using right. Those things went away. One more conflict. Where's the next conflict? Yes. Resolve using right. Apply. Variables.tf. And what's kind of nice about this is, so what I'm looking for. There we go. This, as you get closer and closer to your end goal, you have less and less changes in your work in progress bench. And so it gets smaller and smaller. All right. So you can see, we only have a few things still left in here. Get diff stat master, right? I've only got 20 insertions, which is cool. Going to, now I have been playing with some stuff here. I just want to also, so now I just do stuff where I'm like, okay, let's have a look at how this is now currently different from master. Terraforming K. Oh, that's a nice little cleanup. Okay, we'll wanna push that through. That's nice. It's just a little cleanup. That's fine. Oh, that's another one. I just noticed that needs an ensured build image. Also, just a nice cleanup. Nothing's changed there. Just shrink that so we can see everything. The README. Oh, I made some changes to the development README to like make things a little bit easier for new developers. Cool. We definitely want that as well. Ooh, there was a nice uninstalling the chart for Helm 3 docs. So we want that too. So these are all interesting and good. Oh, this was a thing I did with Cloud Build that at some point I might want in the future, but I'm actually thinking that, I'm going to ignore this one for now. The short answer is like we have some Cloud Build stuff, and there is some really nice integrations that we already have with Cloud Build and GitHub. But I built all the stuff for Agones way before it was done, so I have my own like string and glue and sticky tape version of that, and so I needed some other things. But I'm gonna, when we switch back, I'm actually gonna get rid of that. All right, yeah, that's fine. Don't care. Like I said, I do horrible things to this Git history, but it's my work in progress patch, so I don't care. So there's like 4 PRs that I can pull out of this that are just nice little additions, which I will do. So we'll check out master. All right. Beautiful. And so this is what I do literally now when I'm like, okay, how do I, I'm just gonna actually come back to my default task. We'll get rid of everything in here. How do I pull out my pull requests now that I'm working this way instead? How are we doing for time? We're good. We're fine. Perfect. All right, sweet. And I literally just do a git compare with branch, and I do work in progress, and I have a look. And I start pulling stuff out. One thing to note that's super handy, and I'll actually show it to you as well in here. VCS, there's a plugin. Actually, let me see if I can find it. There's a plugin in IntelliJ that I love because I use all the plugins. I want to say checkout. Yes, get checkout files from branch. So if you're just doing diff stuff between like branches, IntelliJ is fine, right? Super easy, great. If you want to be like, I need that file from that branch pulled into this branch or where I'm working right now, this makes it super easy. So definitely get checkout files from branch. Worth checking out. You can find it in the usual suspects. All right, so let's do a compare with branch, work in progress Helm 3. I'm going to drop into here. Do I want this one? No. I'm going to do this one first. Bloop. So literally it, like I just copied it across, uninstall the chart. I just want to do So let's do a quick test on that, just to make sure we're site server 1313. Oh, somebody made a comment. Oh no. Ah, excellent. My buddy Robert approved those changes. That makes me very happy. So let's just have a look at that real quick. Helm. Where did I add that then? Bear with me one sec. So, bloop. Let me just give me a new window. Site installation helm.md. Right. Let's grab that. Here we go. Helm test. Uninstall. Uninstalling the chart. Oh, it's at the top. Ah, there it is. Okay. I have uninstalling the chart in here twice. Okay. Something is weird in that. Okay. I did something silly somewhere. But you know what? This is why we also check it. Okay. So now Helm 3 uninstalling the chart has Helm uninstall. Helm 2 uninstall has Helm delete. I probably want to add a purge to that. Helm delete my release -- purge. Because that was the thing you needed to do. All right. Right. And so actually this is something else I'll usually do now that this is part of my process, right? Like, and you can see it here. I will do I'll do a pass that works, everything's fine. And then when I pull it out into a PR, I will do another review of it to be like, is everything the way I expect it to be? Maybe there's some like comment changes or other kinds like that. It just gives me another chance to actually have a look at it and be like, is this exactly how I want it to be? And usually I find a couple of things that I want to clean up. It's a good opportunity to kind of focus deeply on this one specific change. And this is looking good. I'm installing my release, Namespace Agones system. Yep, and then that's just because Agones, like Helm 2 doesn't work that way. Cool. Exit. All right, we'll call it git checkout site Helm remove. Yeah, Helm uninstall. Yeah. Oh. HB, HST, A. All right, let's. I like doing my commits in here, as you know. Add uninstall step to Helm documentation. Noticed that we were missing a cleanup step for both Helm 2 and Helm 3, so decided to add one. Smiley face. Let's commit that. The other thing I quite like about this workflow is that because I'm pulling this out at this time, when I do my gp-sup, when I do my git push up to origin, the first time you push to GitHub, you'll notice this, which is create a pull request for this thing, right? And actually I can do a bunch of stuff here now, which is actually really cool. But anyway, I digress. And that URL gets populated for the PR. If I kept pushing up to this up to this branch, that comment doesn't actually show up anymore. So which means that I use tmux and I can just pull up the URL view, hit enter, boom, and now it opens up my pull request. This is another nice thing I really like about this flow. So I will call this, I'll pull that out, documentation, oops. It's definitely a documentation change. And which issues does this fix? None. Special notes, none. I'll have a quick look. That's not right. Did I miss stuff? I am now confused. Color me confused. Where did... Right, uninstalling the chart. Helm uninstall. Am I Am I being silly? Where did it go? Right? Was this already there and I'm just like having some sort of strange nightmare? Huh. Wait. What? I'm extremely confused. Git compare with branch master helm. That is literally the only change. So why did I do this work? Clearly I'm having one of those days. So confused. No, it is. It's there. Huh. Git compare with branch work in progress helm 3. Oh, I must have literally written it a second time. That's why it was there twice. Okay. Sometimes I do silly things. All right. In which case, this is very easy. Git push origin. Site helm uninstall. We don't want this. This is not a thing we want. But you know what? This is why we also check our own PRs. So in which case, let's get rid of that locally. Let's switch over to our work in progress helm 3. And let's clear that out of our work in progress branch. Helm.md, we actually want what's in master. Master, go away. Beautiful. And we get rid of it. Okay. So we can always do that for another thing. What do we got? How much do we have for time? All right. Excellent. Okay. Now we can go work in progress, have held 3. All right, let's pop back over to our default task, which brings us back to master. And we can go git, compare with branch, and we can just repeat the process. Work in progress helm. What's one I want? Terraform MK? Oh, one that's actually, I think, the most valuable is this one. So I wanted to change... Actually, I'll tell you what. I will actually show you what I want to change here, because this is actually... So we have these developer docs, and they are a little old, and they point to valid make test arguments that are useful, except for make test runs like every single... just about like a huge number of tests, including all of our SDK tests, and it'll probably take like a couple of hours to run. Whereas test go is much more tenable. Like it runs just the Go libraries, which is great. And so this is so I'm going to push this across, but I'm also going to do a review of it. Cool. Let's go. Contributing. Yep. Where did I put that? It's in build, isn't it? Build. README. Here we go. Oh, I should get rid of some of this stuff. But I will leave one problem at a time. All right, first, if you haven't built any build, star before this. Let's test the Agones system code. Run make test go, which will unit tests for the Go code base. Yes. There are other tests that they can take a long time to run. You haven't run any of the which I should call it just any of the make targets really before run any of the make targets before, then this will also create the Docker-based build image and then run the tests. Okay. Run any. Say make. Capital M make. I think that's reasonable. Alright, building this build image takes a few minutes to download the dependencies. Copy, troubleshooting section. Okay. It's only created, executed, and rebuild the build docker file has changed. That's relatively true. Let's compile and build environment builds. If you don't have a long time to kill, you can run make build images to only build the images for Agones, which is often all you need for development. Tool enable SDKs in various languages. Yes. Cool. Let's do that. Okay, so now B, we'll call this dev instructions. All right, GST, get out with A. There's nothing else I wanted to add, just real quick. What time we got? Ooh, 5 minutes. Git, compare with branch. Just want to see if there's anything else. No, that's just a minor tweak. That's something else I'm going to put in a different thing, and that's going to be fine too. All right, cool. Plan, update, developer guide to include faster targets. Running make build or make test is probably not reasonable for developers to use in a development iteration loop. So pointing new developers instead at test go and build images, which is what most people, which is what is needed most of the time. Seems reasonable. Cool. All right, now we're actually going to see this in action again. Oops, GP's up. Hopefully we'll get some good feedback too, just because hopefully some people will come up with new things. Oh, there's my dog. I'm actually surprised she didn't bark before now. So they got a system code is going to make test go, which looks like the unit test for the Go code base. If you haven't running make targets before, then this will also create the base build image and run the tests. If you don't have a long time to kill, you can run make build images to only build the images for Agones, which is often all you need for development. Build tools cleanup, but also documentation. All right. Documentation? Yeah, it seems reasonable. Yeah, that seems better. None. All right, let's submit it and we'll see what feedback we get. Cool. All right, that's me wrapping up. Hopefully you've seen some fun things, or at least just had something interesting to sit and listen to for a while. If you want to follow me here on Twitch at Mark Mandel. Follow me on YouTube at Mark S. Mandel. Follow me on the Twitters at Neurotic. It was nice to get back to streaming. I have not done it in a while, so it was super good to see you all for a little bit and hang out with you. I hope you like my new setup too. I hope you like my pretty lights. All right, cool. Thank you so much. I'll see you all on the internet. Have a good weekend and enjoy the rest of your day.